In this video, I will explain how I went from being a pizza maker, so a complete beginner who had never heard of HTML or CSS, to a software developer and SaaS creator in just 3 years. I managed to almost multiply my income by 10, reaching more than 10k per month. In this video, I will also quickly tell you about my school and work path. You will see that I had nothing to do with the IT world, that I was not at all meant to become a software developer. I didn't do any particular school, and that if I did it, most people can do it and copy my journey. I will explain all the mistakes I made and give you my base tips so you can copy what I did if you want, while of course adapting it to your goals. I will also explain, in my opinion, what is the best way to become a developer or even to create a SaaS if you know nothing about it or if you are a complete beginner. I will also talk about a very important topic, which is AI. More exactly, will AI replace developers? Do developers have a future? Is it worth learning to code in 2025? Many people worry about this, and I will try to answer in this video and give you my opinion. Because today, I think that the rules have totally changed. So I started with a normal school path. I was pretty good in primary school, especially in math. And it was in middle school that I began to completely drop the school. I started by doing the bare minimum, then nothing, then almost never coming in school. School did not interest me at all anymore. And I found it really boring, and quickly I wanted to be independent and earn my own money. So the only solution I had, I think it was maybe at 15 or 16, was to do a work study. And it's like apprenticeships, okay, it's a work study program. So at 16, I started working in car repair shops as a body worker to get a CAP in French. It's a 2-year French vocational diploma, roughly like a high school trade certificate in body work. I realized that it was not a job I could see myself doing later. It was really very hard physically and not very well paid. After that, I didn't even finish high school. I soon earned my CAP, the French 2-year trade diploma. At about 17, I started working in restaurants. That was when I got my first real paycheck. I passed my driver's license, bought my first car, and by 19, I was renting my own apartment. So from what I just told you, you can see that I had absolutely no IT background, no engineering school, no university, nothing. And near the end of COVID, I questioned myself, and I was tired of working many hours for literally peanuts. I knew I loved everything about tech, computers, and all that world, so without, of course, knowing much. But I also really like problem solving, creating things in general. I loved it. And I was also very interested at the time in the crypto world. So after some thinking and research, I say to myself that I wanted to become a blockchain developer. That filled all the boxes I just told you about. While researching, I learned that apparently you first have to learn about web development before blockchain development. This is not really true, but at this time, I followed the advice without taking. That is where my path to learn web development began. So to show you more visually my path, here is a draw that I made to explain my journey. So let's say it's me in the Naruto world, because I just used the new update of ChatGPT to make the pictures of me. So let's say in me, so complete beginner, I didn't know any HTML, any CSS, any JavaScript, nothing. I'm a complete beginner. So I found an online IT school called Open Classrooms. It's like a school that's trained for all kinds of online jobs, but especially web development. They offered a 6-month training to learn web development with golden promises. I was very lucky because at that time, so post-COVID, the region where I lived paid for the training. So it was completely free. And if you met certain conditions, you could even get paid to do the training. Anyway, I started to grind the training for 6 months, morning, noon, evening. I did only that. At first, it was pretty easy with HTML and CSS, but once I met JavaScript, it became very hard. But I kept training, and after 6 months, I got my degree. While it's great, whatever they tell you, you are not easy employable. So I just learned to code and I still had a lot of things to learn. I don't have the fundamentals. I just have the basics of development, front-end and back-end. So it's not true that you can got a job. It's not true. You have only the basics. And for 99% of the people who did this training, you can't have a job after 6 months training. That's not true. So at the last moment, I managed to get a work study position for 1 year of full stack development training to get an equivalent of 3 years trade certificate, an equivalent, but in 1 year. So it was really great. It's like three weeks in the company and 1 week in school. So while improving a bit at school and at the company, grinded small projects in my free times. It's me just here grinded at the night. So I grinded small projects in my free time, read books. In short, I kept training. To tell you, I even took a week of vacation to go all in on one project and finish it. At the same time, that was the arrival of ChatGPT. And with a friend, we got hyped to build an AI-based app that creates fitness programs. It was the first medium-sized project I worked on. And once I got my diploma, so second training course completed, I'm a little bit more confident and more competent. I got hyped to do another work study program, but this time in the blockchain development. At the same time, I also started my first big project. It was a voice chip. It's currently my SaaS. It's a SaaS to translate any video in more than 10 languages with voice cloning, lip sync, and subtitles. So back to the school, I realized I did not like blockchain development. I preferred web development. So I quit the program and went full time on voice chip to move it as fast as possible. You will see that I insist on this project and on projects in general because it is super important to stand out from the crowd and become a very good developer. This project taught me so many things. You have no idea. I multiplied my web skills, especially in Node.js, video and audio processing, stability, front-end, back-end, payment system, trading, design, UI, UX, and more. Anyway, thanks to this project, I was able to land dozens of job interviews at many companies. Every time it was always the same thing the recruiters talk about, it was voice chip and my GitHub. That is what let me land my first freelance job where I still work now, which lets me have 2 income sources. Of course, you add to that a good portfolio, a good LinkedIn, and a good American style CV, and knowing how to handle interviews. That is what let me land my freelance mission at 40-50 euros per day, and if you count, that let me reach up to 9,000 before tax, plus the income from my SaaS voice chip and the income from my SaaS voice chip, which lets me reach 10,000 K. So now the next subject is it worth learning to code in 2025? Will AI replace developers? We have seen in the last months that big companies are starting to lay off many people, especially developers. At first look, we could say that is because of the COVID period, when companies hired a lot and now they are getting rid of the extra staff, we can say. But COVID has been over for a long time and companies keep reducing their number of developers. Companies are starting to add AI more and more into the workflow. Developers are becoming more productive and companies need fewer developers to do the same thing. AI-powered coding tools like Cursor, Lovable, Bolt, Devin, and others are becoming more and more numerous and more powerful. So now there are 2 theories, 2 possibilities. So first theory, AI becomes so powerful, almost an AGI, and all developers become completely useless. The second theory, which I think is the most likely in the next decades, because AI tools become smarter and smarter, there will actually be even more developers on the market and in general. What will happen is that company will need fewer and fewer developers, and on the job market there will be a huge number of people looking for work while demand is not here. So to explain this with a draw, it's going to be more easy to understand. Let's say there is 2 categories of developers. There are the bad the common, the very basic developers. So let's say there are many of them. There are a lot of developers in this kind of level. And on the other side, there is the very good developer. So it's the 10x developer, the very good, passionate, and high-skilled developers. Let's say they are here. So there are not many of them, let's say 3 or 4 here. And what happened before is that you have the demand here. So it's natural, it's black. The demand for software jobs. For this kind of people, it was not really hard to find a job because there was a demand. There was a lot of jobs. So even if you are not really passionate, if you are really not really good, even if you are bad at coding, you can sometimes find a job. So it was not really a problem before AI. And of course, this kind of people, they can find a job very, very, very easily. But now with the arriving of AI, the problem is that too many people can become a software developer. I mean that anyone can build something like with Lovable or with Bolt and bring some value. Anyone can create a SaaS. So anyone can kind of become a software developer. Like, it's true, you are a bad developer if you can build software with no-code software like Lovable, but you can still provide value to company. So you can enter in this side, and you can also, of course, learn development, build some stuff, debug more easily with AI. So it means there are now a lot of people landing in this kind of level area, if you can say. It means now there are not only few people here, there are a lot of people now. Okay, so you can see that there is a lot of people and there are too many of them. Okay, great. But the problem is that the demand is not growing with AI. It's the opposite. So there are a lot of jobs which disappears, and you are here in this section you have no job because there is no demand. But for this kind of people, it's still the same because they are very good. They are using AI for the best. The best people are using AI, so it's great, and they can still find a job for most people. So I would say that, of course, it's still worth to learn to code in 2025, but the rules change because now you have to be very passionate, you have to be hardworking, you have to learn to work a lot. The effort you have to do is very different than before. Now you have to do a lot to outstanding and land in this area, in this section. So if you want to become a developer and you think it will be easy and you will just take and you just want to take the easy path and be chill, it's not the reality today. So you have to be very passionate and really like what you do and be in the best. So now I will explain for me what is the best path to become a developer or a SaaS creator. So if you are not a beginner, if you are already a software developer, it's not going to be the best part for you, so you can leave this video. So let's say you are here, you are a beginner. There is 3 paths. The first path is to become a developer or a SaaS creator 100% self-taught. It means you do everything by yourself. You learn web development by watching courses or watching videos on YouTube. I think this path is very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you are playing in hardcore mode. It's not the best part because you don't have any directive lines to follow. So it's going to be very, very, very hard, and only few people can take this path and be successful. The second path, I think it's the easier. It's the longer path, but if you are still young, if you are, for example, if your parents home and you have time, in other words, I mean, doing school and university, it's the best way to have the fundamentals and to learn a lot. And if you have time, I mean, you can do it. You can do at good school in 5 years, learn programming and development, and at the end, I've some skills and made your own SaaS or become a developer. It's honestly a good path. But I think if you are on this video, it's not a way you can do today. So for me, the best way to do that, it's to do some short courses, some short trainings, and self-taught. I mean that you can do some trainings to have, for example, open classrooms, so to have people around you, so like teachers, people guiding you, telling you what to do, what to learn, what to not do, what to not learn, everything you have to know. And it's very motivating to have people around you telling you what to do. And of course, on the side, you have to do a lot of projects, to do some small and bigger projects, to always learn the fundamentals, because just knowing how to code and how to use ChatGPT won't be enough to differentiate you. Even to create a good product, you have to have good skills and good knowledge. So you have to learn the fundamentals. Don't make the same mistake as me, and learn another language. Learn architectures, algorithms, networks, general IT, basics of AI, LLM, for example. It's very important. And if you like, even math. You can also read books. I think it's very underrated, and you can go deeper into what you learn and learn a lot. Of course, work on your GitHub, do a good GitHub. It's very important. Have a good CV in the American style. I know in France they like to do like fancy CV with a lot of colors. It's not good at all. Do something very minimalist with something very comprehensive for the recruiter. So as I told you, do a lot of projects, and then maybe you can have your first job as a software developer. And if I go back to trainings, the first training in the majority of the cases won't be enough. So you have to, after you got the basics, you can do a longer or more intensive programs, intensive training, to have more knowledge and skills, so you can get your first jobs. And if you want to create a SaaS, creating a SaaS, it's also a way to become independent, but it's also a way, and I think the best way to learn marketing, to not averaging too much, to understand what it means to build a product, a software for real people, for customers. It's very, very, very good to learn and to show it in your CV. So you will learn also the India King mindset, MVP, ship fast, and even you can get your first dollar on the internet. I think it's one of the best sensations when you got your first dollar in the internet. So that's all for this video. Hope you like it. Tell me in the comments if you like it, and see you on another video.